The fall of Channel Awesome. I used to watch a lot of Channel Awesome. Every once in a while I do still get into some Nostalgia Critic, but kind of gotten old these later years, especially in the political climate, because he got a little too political. He should have kept politics out of it, man. And he, you know, does kind of seem like that type of person, if you know what I mean. Anyway, let's check out what this guy has to say about this deep dive of Channel Awesome, and it's only 34 minutes, so must not be much. I know a little bit about Nostalgia Critic. I've been there since they had him and AVGN had beef.
Oh, hello. Ever since the beginning of YouTube, there have been personalities in internet history that have defined an era. Lonely Girl 15, the Angry Video Game Nerd, Keyboard Cat, Grumpy Cat, and of course, Doug Walker's Nostalgia Critic character. Doug Walker.
I was like 12 at the time that he is talking about, where all of the things were coming together at once.
Movies, Kick-Assia, Suburban Nights, To Boldly Flee. They've been derided and made fun of, mocked. But I didn't want to take other people's word for it. I wanted to find out for myself why these Channel Awesome anniversary movies are so despised. And I didn't want to do it alone either. I wanted to study how someone who knows even less than I do about Kick-Assia would react to the movie. I made Gina watch it with me because I think there's something interesting about watching these without having been a mainline fan. Why did I pick this one? I picked this one because it was one of the shorter ones.
I've never seen these, actually. I don't know anything. Oh, that's what Kick-Assia is. I had no idea. About to find out a new thing about Nostalgia Critic that I didn't know.
There were others in this playlist I found, Channel Awesome Movies. There was a playlist that someone put up, and there were some 20-minute ones, but I wanted to do one of the ones that felt more like a feature film. The story centers on the Nostalgia Critic, who decides to take over Molossia, a micronation located in Nevada. Why? Because he can. Armed with his ragtag group of internet reviewers, the Critic's plan is to overthrow the nation's founder, Kevin Baugh, and crown himself ruler. As the Critic's reign descends into madness, the group's unity begins to unravel. A bunch of fights ensue, and after a mutiny happens, everything basically...
What happened to YouTube, man? People don't do this kind of thing anymore. This was like cringe, bunch of people in the same niche coming together and making a video, and I love it. It's kind of wholesome. I kind of want to watch this for myself.
Goes back to exactly the way it was before. When it comes to Channel Awesome and these anniversary movies, I knew I had a lot of catching up to do. So I listened to not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 different feature-length Kick-Assia commentaries conducted by Doug Walker, Rob Walker, a couple of the producers like Mike Mashad and Bhargav Dranamraju, and cast members like Linkara and Spoonie.
Linkara.
The most juicy ones by far were by Doug and Rob, who recorded their commentaries separately. So I'll be cluing you into some behind-the-scenes info I got from those commentaries and much more as we go along. But as far as our reactions to watching Kick-Assia for the first time, our reactions ranged from indifference. These people come from Channel Awesome, if you've ever seen. They're Angry Joe guy that...
Yeah, Angry Joe. Yeah, I still watch him a lot sometimes, actually. A lot sometimes. What kind of sentence was that?
Vaguely heard of these people, but
I watch his like reviews for movies and his weekly news show sometimes. I pick that up.
I've never watched any of their stuff. It's not my kind of thing.
To confusion.
Why is he taking over Molossia?
I don't know. He doesn't really explain it. To annoyance.
This is just, I'm like...
Does it make...
Well, you don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get the culture and the humor. Cringe. I'm so cringe. I'm sorry.
What does it make you feel?
Like, I should be napping right now. I just need a better plot. There's too many characters. Wow, this person's in it, this person's in it, this person's in it. Wow.
You gotta know the lore. You don't know the lore. If you know the lore, then it makes sense. And it... Okay.
Hopefulness.
I would never leave you, Critic. I know that film, Brain.
He does have a little bit like of funniness.
Timing?
Yeah, good comedic timing. I saw where the jokes and the comedy that he was trying to do, but it wasn't funny enough because either the acting, the overacting.
I feel that it wasn't funny enough. The overacting, yeah, it was a lot of overacting, but I think that was the point because they were terrible and they were just kind of throwing stuff together in their living rooms.
Was too sweaty, too hammy, or the joke would overstay its welcome.
There's the outline of an idea that's funny.
Yes.
But he doesn't hone it.
No.
Doesn't think it through to its funniest form. He just throws it at the movie without, what most people would do is take a funny idea and develop it.
It does look like fun though.
Like if it was a different group of people, could be fun.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't get together with those folks. Those kinds of folks. Those people are a little too cringe for me to hang out with. That's why I didn't watch their content. At least Doug, Nostalgia Critic, had some like actual value to his creations, where he's got skits and stuff that actually had effects, like AVGN. I wish they still did that stuff.
See, there was a little chuckle there. Honestly, I did like Lindsay Ellis's character a lot.
And I think it's because she looks like she doesn't care.
Yeah.
Like she knows that this is ridiculous and she's not trying too hard. And the laughs were few and far between, but yes, we did actually laugh.
Cry, Santa cries, we all love.
Wait a second, what happened?
I don't know.
Little maids from school, are we? Does the schoolgirl ask?
See, that's the stuff that we liked about the Nostalgia Critic and the AVG and stuff. It's just like, it wasn't exactly random. It fit the story, but it was just ridiculous shit, and it was really poorly done, as in, like, it was edited in the living room, basically. All these skits, all these movies and stuff were made in their living rooms.
It's terrible.
Why do I even care about this cheap internet film series that started back in 2010? Well, because it's interesting, because it's an internet anomaly, and mostly because I grew up making
And it wasn't created by Hollywood pedophiles. That's the best part.
my own movies. From 6 years old all the way into my 30s, I've seen the whole spectrum of filmmaking. I've been on TV, I've written and directed 3 feature films, and now I'm approaching this deep dive with some experience. It would be so easy to just watch the movie, have an initial reaction, and then move on. But you know what? That's why I'm diving deep today. Because whether I like it or not, I relate to Doug Walker and the people at Channel Awesome for putting their passion into these movies. That guy with the glasses, later rebranded as Channel Awesome, was an online media website best known for hosting.
I think I remember when that rebrand happened. I think I was an active watcher of Nostalgia Critic when he rebranded from that guy with the glasses to like Channel Awesome and all that, and opened up the YouTube channel and had a bunch of different shows.
Hosting The Nostalgia Critic, a comedy review series created by Doug Walker. Founded in 2008 by Doug, his brother Rob Walker, and CEO Mike Mashad, the site started as a platform for Doug's videos, but quickly expanded to include a variety of independent creators producing movie reviews, skits, and pop culture commentary. Known for its humorous, over-the-top style and collaborative anniversary films like Kick-Assia, the site became a major hub for internet-based entertainment, fostering a strong community of creators and fans. However, its success unraveled in 2018 after allegations of mismanagement, mistreatment, and a toxic work environment surfaced.
Uh-oh, you can't be having none of that. Yeah, that'll kill a company quick, especially a small YouTube one like that.
In the Not So Awesome document. These controversies led to an exodus of creators, widespread backlash, and a sharp decline in its reputation, marking the end of its prominence. However, I'll be focusing on information that directly relates to Kick-Assia today. When it comes to the plot about taking over Molossia, first of all, I thought Molossia was a made-up thing. Turns out it's a real micronation led by the very real Kevin Baugh. More on that in a bit. I also figured that
What? Hey, wait, hold up. Okay, I'm gonna need to know more about that. He's probably gonna fill me in, but that's actually kind of insane and hilarious and fitting for just some random YouTube channel and a bunch of other channels. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that.
Doug Walker had come up with the concept for this movie. Turns out the controversial CEO of Channel Awesome, Mike Mashad, is the one who came up with it. You see,
Mike
Doug
Mashad. Mike Mashad. How do I know this guy? I mean, obviously from Channel Awesome and Nostalgia Critic and all that, but where do I remember somebody else talking about him?
Coming up with the concept for that year's anniversary film, and Mashad had recently learned about Molossia. So he emailed Kevin Baugh and asked if he'd be down to help bring the movie to life. This, of course, involved Kevin Baugh lending his house and his very interesting presence to the film. I think the real investigation here is with the making of that was made by Bhargav. Bhargav Dronamraju was the chief executive producer at Channel Awesome, and that's quite an epic title to have, don't you think? He had also been a buddy of Doug Walker since their college days. His first appearance on the Nostalgia Critic show was as Ma T from Captain Planet. His last appearance in a Channel Awesome project was with Suburban Nights. Now, I'm not exactly sure why he left Channel Awesome, but I'll get to that when I cover that movie. Either way, he made this behind-the-scenes documentary that we're diving into now.
We would like to thank Doug for taking the middle, sacrificing his body.
I think probably because it started to become not fun. Yeah, on a thing that is based around having fun and it being like living room-y.
Yeah, that's what Doug does, because he's the dancing monkey.
Well, anyways, we're here in Reno. Everything sucks.
The room, the hotel, the food, yeah, everything's actually phenomenal, but Bargo's sick, yeah. Everything sucks.
It's interesting to hear Doug on his commentary track joking about how he punished any contributor who failed to bring their own weapon prop to the shoot. He did this by half-assedly buying them a crappy toy from Toys R Us. While he was at it, couldn't he just have bought everyone a freaking toy weapon and saved people a lot of hassle at the airports?
Apparently, I am on a no-fly list now. They had to make a few phone calls just to see if it was all right for me to fly. Now would be a good time to declare these assault rifles that I'm carrying. Madam, I'm going to Reno to film a short film. We're invading a short country, which I don't think that helped.
We're invading a short country.
I have, fake BB pellet plastic guns, with the orange tips. I almost missed my flight.
The guy had to transport fake weapons on a...
What? Whoa, hey, why would you even tell anybody that? Why would you tell people at the airport that? First off, just be like, I'm gonna be in a movie made by YouTubers. That's like, you don't even have to say that. It's like I'm giving them to some kids. If that's what they were, orange tip, plastic piece of shit. What was? Okay, Angry Joe is kind of dumb sometimes. If that was even a true thing that he said
on an airplane. Angry Joe wasn't the only one to have trouble at the airport. Phelan Porteous missed his flight at Denver Airport because the TSA thought his camera was a gun. I'm sure that TSA was just high, though.
I'll compare this, because I know this is meant to be comically large, but I want to see it's definitely larger.
I see what Joe's saying now, but still stupid. Why would you... Wait. So why would you fly on a plane with fake toy guns? Why would you do that? Why would you think that'd be a good idea? Just get the toy guns when you land. What?
Not by too much, but still pretty.
Yeah, Doug would measure hat size. I was wondering where they got Doug's M. Bison costume. I kind of figured that they either rented, purchased, or had one of the Channel Awesome contributors make it for him. It turns out that Doug's dad's orthodontist's assistant made the M. Bison costume. I guess she does that on the side, and it ended up costing Doug $600 all in.
This is a huge chunk of money. I don't care who you are.
Look at Angry Joe. He brought those weapons onto a plane. It's kind of cool seeing these people just being themselves. Like,
See, yeah. Why even complain that you were having problems in the first place then? If you brought those guns on a plane. I mean, I'm okay with it. If I was king of the United States, dictator of the United States, I would let people carry guns, real guns, on airplanes.
Onto a plane.
Good luck hijacking a plane when there's a bunch of rednecks with guns just waiting to protect it.
It's kind of cool seeing these people just being themselves, like normal people, because they're such over-the-top characters in the actual movie.
It's awesome. I loved watching him in Alone in Dungeon Siege, where he plays like an evil sorcerer.
Vegas, I won about $1,000, so...
He's totally stoked about that.
You won?
Yeah, he actually won.
I swear to God that the sheet of paper said 635. Checked it over many, many times.
Somebody else hold my bag because it was real heavy, and then we went through the last set of customs crap. This guy comes up and he's like, "Hey, stop! What you got in the bag? Dirty laundry. You want to open it up and smell it?"
Sorry, I've done this like 8 times today, and I'm slowly going
Well,
insane.
believe it or not, for all the trouble the second half gave me, the first half went well.
Okay, that's Chris. We just picked him up, and I'm going in to Radio Shack to pick up this DVD player. I'm really stressed out because all kinds of shit has been happening all day.
Yeah, but anyway, this Bargov guy, he probably wasn't even getting paid this whole time for all the trips back and forth, picking people up at the airport.
I've been picking up people for 10 hours straight, and it's like fucking Groundhog's Day.
I hope they at least paid the gas for this. Or is this guy paying out of his own pocket? Don't you wonder if everyone's paying for their own food and drink that night? Okay, there's an answer for this. The only meals covered were breakfast and lunch. So yes, they were all most likely paying for their own food and drink that night. We'll dive into the lack of suitable reimbursement for the Channel Awesome contributors shortly. But here's where Doug addresses the meals they were willing to cover during filming.
So breakfast is covered. On the days that we are shooting there, we are covering lunch as well. So,
Wait, hold on. So, first off, these people showed up here not knowing what the plan was. And also, this guy, Doug Walker, didn't have a plan. So everybody in this situation is just, they're all idiots. Like, nobody knew what they were doing. I think a lot of them were just like excited that they were doing a cool YouTube thing. A collaboration effort. It seemed like it was a big time operation, like Hollywood production-esque. Like they're coming up in the world.
probably, I think the only thing they have, I hope you like Quiznos or Taco Bell, because that's all they have. Because the closest one is like 10 miles away, and that's all there is for 100 miles.
That's all you need.
Hicassia actually represents a time when everyone was more optimistic. This was actually the best experience it seems like they had with all the anniversary movies. The real trouble began with Suburban Nights On, and I guess I'll cover those movies soon. But it's funny to see them all on this first anniversary movie, clear-eyed and bushy-tailed, and obviously willing to do stuff for very free.
It's like, you reached greater summit. You are now 10,000 feet up in the air. Only the eagles dare to climb here. And then you're going down and down and down. And there's like crazy-ass people like doing like 60 miles in this crazy canyon. Where there's like giant cliffs on either side of the road, like vultures that are staring at our car like, yeah. And then just down the road, in the middle of this fucking desert, there's a boat. And this is why I ordered Jameson.
I just get the sense that Doug and Rob are, they love this glorious complaining. They feel like it makes it more of a movie experience if they complain like little bitches.
I also think that they think that it's really funny, and it's really not. It's really cringe and comes off very, a little tistic, if you know what I'm saying.
Buffy, you understand. Why am I doing this? You think I'm an idiot. Okay. It's also an odd thing to see, like, the same camera quality that's in the movie as in the behind the scenes. In the behind the scenes, it's more forgivable. In the movie itself, you're just like, this looks like piss paper. You know what's funny? The lack of focus in this camera, yet there's like 3 or 4 cameras rolling right now. I mean, this was the best angle. Lindsay Ellis. She had some interesting things to say about this day of filming, I believe, or this day of planning. In the Not So Awesome document, Lindsay Ellis touched on her misgivings about how Doug, Rob, and Mike Michaud handled the anniversary movies, specifically in terms of meals. First of all, I do feel the way management approached the anniversaries from the get-go was inappropriate in a way that was never rectified. I was in my 3rd semester at USC when the 2nd anniversary happened, and the first real moment of concern came at the hotel in Reno on the set of Kick-Assia, when Doug was explaining the schedule and I asked a logistical question, namely what his plan was for craft services. Doug actually laughed at me like I was some princess expecting special treatment. Noah Anteweiler, who was also there, explained that craft services is generally a given at any shoot, even student films. Only then was the suggestion taken seriously. Yeah, I mean, this complaint is...
I think he felt like he had some kind of funny power where, like, yes, I am the leader, haha, obey me, but everything sucks, including me. Like, what is this?
Completely valid. I mean, you've got a movie that takes place in the desert for long periods of time with a lot of outdoor action sequences, but craft services were not even on Doug, Rob, or Michaud's minds. That's beyond inept. Ellis goes on to speak about the dangerous levels of incompetence. This was a set with more than 30 people, and they did not have food or water until they were told to do so. To my memory, they didn't even get around to it until day 2. To be clear, inexperience was not the issue. Arrogance was. Everyone who gets into film has a learning curve, but Doug and co. barged in like they had nothing to learn, and this resulted in a variety of issues.
Alright, so we're passing around.
Yeah, they're the leaders, and they know everything. They know what they want. They have the operation all totally planned out in their heads. Plans change all the time, though.
Sarah Palin wig. This is how Bargo looks in it. We kind of think he looks like Sanjaya.
Yeah, you're like an authentic rock, man.
I don't know what that looks like. Guy that plays drag.
It's almost like you're some kind of Japanese, like...
Oh my god, Emo Jones! No! Yeah, that is great.
Look at Lindsay. She's just like, do you all have to wear it? Like, there's this level of, can you please not wear it? So what I gathered from the full-length commentaries of Mike Michaud and Spoonie, everyone was staying at a casino hotel in Reno. The room arrangements were 2 people to a room. Shooting days were from about 6:30 until 7 or 8 at night. Imagine doing that without the promise of water out there in the desert, let alone not getting paid for that or the crossover videos that everyone was basically expected to make. The crossover videos were where different creators would feature cameos or collabs with other creators. This was done so that the CEOs could recoup costs from the anniversary movie budget. Again, Lindsay Ellis touches on this in the Not So Awesome document. She states, "And while we're here, Michaud expecting producers who were independent contractors to hand over their privately written and filmed crossover videos during the anniversaries to help recoup the costs of production while themselves getting no compensation was repugnant and exploitative. I regret not having pushed back more against." Was repugnant and exploitative.
Is that a Snoop Dogg Jesus? That where? Oh, I didn't realize my microphone was covering up part of the screen. I don't see it very often over there. Let me fix it. I feel like a moron now. There you go. Is that better? That's why I didn't have it all stretched out. Get over it. You can get over it. I'm just kidding. I'm actually sorry.
I regret not having pushed back more against this.
Matthew, say something in your accent.
Hi.
No, that's not enough. Say, I want to be a lady in the flower shop.
But if he won't say it, I will.
I want to be that
I want to be a lady in a flower shop.
Okay.
How's that?
That's better, but that's like so gruff that you overpower your accent.
Angry Joe directing Linkara. Kevin Baugh's house.
Our targets of the invasion.
Wow, there's the sign.
Oh my gosh!
Holy shit, there he is! He just goes get it. He came out in his uniform.
Wow, this guy's serious.
I'm just going to read these trivia notes from IMDb. Molossia is an actual micronation and minor tourist attraction. Kevin Baugh allowed the 20-person crew to film in his home.
How do you become a micronation? Wait, can I become a micronation? Can, like, I turn my property into a micronation? I need to know this. Does that mean I get to operate on my own laws if I'm a micronation? How does that work?
Okay, see, I thought that guy was just Doug Walker's dad this whole time. I think that's Doug Walker's dad. Well, his dad's the best actor so far. Well, the dad is the most natural, though.
I know. Which that turns out not to be his dad, though.
Oh, well. He's in a documentary called Micronations. Sovereignty, borders, and community, passports, constitutions, and anthems. All these topics swirl together in this feature film exploration of micronations. Why did I think that was Doug's dad this whole time? Doug Walker's dad.
He could be.
Okay. That's Doug Walker's dad. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, he looks like he had Doug as a son. Okay. This Kevin Baugh, Molossia. The official website of the Republic of Molossia. Wow. What? His Excellency, the President, Master of the Ship of State, Servant of the People. His Excellency,
what people?
President Grand Admiral Colonel Dr. Kevin Baugh, President and Raish of Molossia, Protector of the Nation and Guardian of the People. Wow. His Excellency. Can you imagine being called Your Excellency? You know?
I could. Would you call me it? I'm just kidding. You're calling me that.
That'd be kind of cool, walking around your own republic. His Excellency is the leader of the Molossian nation and the Molossian people. I can't believe this is real. His Excellency was first and foremost a military man, having spent much of his adult life in the service.
Your Highness is also acceptable. Or Furor Fables, Furor Folly. I'll take that one too.
Of the Molossian armed forces? There's an armed forces in Molossia? Oh, okay, no wonder this guy was so, he was the most natural in the movie. It's because this guy's a badass. He owns a republic. The president maintains friendly relations with many famous international celebrities. There's a picture of Jack Black here. Kevin Baugh is...
So, Jack Black's been compromised. He's a Molossian spy.
The hero of the movie, in my humble opinion. The real-life guy is a character in his own right, and he was also very confident in the role he was playing. For instance, when he was playing Fritz von Baugh, Doug asked him if he planned on doing an English or German accent, and Kevin simply replied, no. Doug had also wanted Baugh to be more manic and over-the-top like everyone else, but Kevin stayed firm in his belief that his character should be in stark contrast to everyone else's over-the-top antics. That's why he stands out as an actually good part of Kick-Assia. If you've ever made films when you were a kid or as you got older, you can feel a little bit of charm with this one. It is an interesting feat that he got all these people there. This was a big undertaking. The other standout of the movie, as mentioned earlier, was Lindsay Ellis. She was the most measured with her performance. And
I might have to watch this movie. But maybe a couple of them, maybe all of them.
And wouldn't you know it, Doug was disappointed with her nonchalance at the beginning of the movie. The way she underplayed her role was what made her less cringy than everyone else. That's the thing I'm gathering about Doug. He really is the opposite of subtlety in every way. Many injuries were sustained over the course of production. Don't you love how this sounds like a legit big movie, but it's really just Kick-Assia, and then they're making it sound so important. Don't be mean, don't be mean. Notably, Jason Pollara twisted both ankles. Brad Jones sliced his finger open on the metal insignia on the Nostalgia Critic's hat, and cinematographer and camera operator Rob Walker gashed his knee on a rock while filming.
Damn, this guy's just as bad as Mr. Beast, apparently.
The Charge in part 2. They make it sound so epic, like they're filming Napoleon or something.
Or Beast Games.
Are you Okay. You just hit the camera. How do you feel? I feel like shit. Get the thing out of my. Oh,
It's a good one.
Rob Walker gashed his knee on a rock while filming The Charge in Part 2. Oh no, he sustained injuries while filming.
He's gonna need workman's comp.
No, it's fine.
No, it's...
Sue him. Sue him. Sue Doug Walker. Rob Walker.
Fine. According to Rob Walker on his commentary, he felt his credit as the director of photography was almost a joke because he shot only 3/4 of this film due to his injury. Oh yes, the gashed knee.
Remember Ashitaka from Princess?
Oh. Ooh. You guys got some, like, it feels like that guy's got like diabetes. That looks like worse than usual from a fall. See, this movie has more interest. Like, it's just so much more fulfilling to watch than Kick-Assia the movie. I'm out of milk. Principal photography lasted 4 days, with all of the outdoor scenes being shot in 1 day. Wow, I bet a lot of sunburns occurred. Can't you just feel everyone's skin burning as we speak? A lot has been said about...
Are they not filming in the desert? It looked like they were filming in the desert in like Oklahoma or New Mexico or some shit. Or like LA probably. It's probably LA. Did you not think to wear sunscreen? Anywhere you go outside, well, these people probably don't go outside very often. So I guess there's that.
Doug's self-centeredness and obsession with himself, you know, constantly propping himself up, being in his own world. But having said all that, I actually think, you know, the one thing I'll say about him is he commits to the bit. He definitely is the character the whole time. The character you see in his show, he does bring to the screen. I can't help but compare Doug Walker with James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd. Both of them made feature film iterations of their flagship characters. It begs the question, who did...
AVGN did it better. 100%. I love the AVGN movie. I go back to it like once a year.
...did better at bringing their character into the format of a feature film? I think Doug Walker is a little better.
True. Yeah, he's better at bringing the character to the film. But AVGN just has a better film.
Little bit better actor, like at least in terms of just Kick-Assia versus the AVGN movie. I think in the early days, James Rolfe was quite good in the role of the angry video game nerd. Yeah. The anger felt real. He was legitimately funny. As time went on, he got stiffer and stiffer. Especially that movie, he was so stiff. He was out of his element. I will say that this seemed like the Nostalgia Critic, and it did seem like he gave some energy throughout. He didn't seem like a shell of himself. So I have to give the win to Doug Walker as far as acting this movie versus the AVGN movie.
I have to agree with you.
I gotta look into why Bargov left Channel Awesome beyond problematic behind-the-scenes issues with the other guys, but here he seems like a very, you know, down-to-earth guy, jovial enough, seems like he likes to have a good time. 31, 32, 33, 35 push-ups.
How the fuck you got on top of a car? Oh, nope, he's still in the fucking haze.
Oh, look at that.
I love how he emerged into frame there. On Spoonie's commentary, he talks about his first full day filming and how he was so exhausted and in pain that night. He had promised to do a collab with Linkara, and Linkara kept pushing to do one right after a full-ass day of filming. Spoonie snapped and refused to do so and ended up going right to bed. He did end up doing one a day or so later, but I can see why Spoonie refused that first night. He wasn't getting paid for Kick-Assia or the crossovers.
What?
And he probably had very little water.
They weren't getting paid. Why were they there? Were they just working to get Doug paid?
That day, on top of it all.
This production could fail at any time.
Piggyback.
Don't worry. We will get this done with. This production will be saved. Saved by you brave people.
Look at him looking around the room. See, guys, a woman is on my back. Let's not forget that, okay? You're all seeing this, right? I always feel like Rob's eyes are looking in two different directions and yet staring through my soul, which, don't do that. Don't.
But they saw me, so Superman broke in, and I got back here! Oh my god, I can't believe I did that in one take.
Wow.
This guy is way more tolerable as a real person.
He reminds me...
Film Brain, who
He reminds me of Hidden Xperia. Like, a lot. He's just got that same voice. Is that Hidden Xperia?
Yeah, he seems like a more genuine... Again, all these people seem cool enough when they're not in character. Like most of the contributors of Channel Awesome, I know very little about Film Brain, aka Matthew Buck. What I do know is that he traveled from the UK to make this movie. His show, Bad Movie Beatdown, offered humorous...
I saw some of his videos back in the day, but I don't know. I didn't really... It didn't register in my brain. I just kind of vaguely remember him.
Of bad films, blending sarcasm and analysis. The show's simple production and its ties to Channel Awesome earned Film Brain a cult following. Hearing Doug and Rob talk about it, it seems like everyone was surprised by Matthew Buck's enthusiasm while acting in Kick-Assia. Buck's fans were also thrown off a little bit because up until this point he had never acted like he did in Kick-Assia. I really didn't like most of the performances in this movie, Buck's included. He was so over the top and manic. However, the dude in real life seems very nice, and he was obviously putting a lot of effort into memorizing his lines and giving the role his all. It really shows how far the Channel Awesome contributors went to make these movies possible.
How do you feel after that?
You did well, sir. You did well.
If you're working on a production, it doesn't matter how shitty you think it is, you gotta put your all into it. You've gotta make that production yours.
Did you see that mannequin sitting in the room? This guy, yeah, I want to see the documentary that he's in.
So we are here to buy the coins from Alasia. Here's Mr. Ba.
It's all good. So basically we have four different types of coins. You have the one, Valora, that's our basic unit of currency is the Valora.
Okay.
And the backside, okay, it's got a thing on it, but...
You want to ask his kids, like, what's it like having your dad be the president of a nation? And this is what they were like when they were younger. They can do whatever the hell they want, that's what. Look at this kid. I guess they can read a person well. They know that Doug's slappable. I love how the mom's not stopping them at all. Look, she's just like, keep going. Did they pay? Did they pay Kevin Baugh and his family for doing this? If not, wow. Look at that guy in the background.
I don't know, this Kevin guy seems like a cool guy, actually, and he met Jack Black.
Questioning why he's there. You know
And to like run your own micronation, as much of a meme as that is, and like as much of a joke that is, you don't actually run anything. It's kind of based.
What I want to read some comments for this. It would be interesting to get a lay of the land for user reviews on IMDb. I have read a wide range of viewpoints on this movie, and honestly, I don't want to read all that. The horror, that sounds interesting. Makes you Bull's work look good. Over the top, unbearable fan service. All right, well, Crap-Assia. I love this. Why? Another one, less original. Why? Well, I guess it's safe to say that IMDb was not too happy with this movie. This movie changed my life? Oh, I don't want to read all that, but I'm gonna have to. I am Alex, a man who had lost his way in a world filled with shadows of past failures and lost dreams. Each day felt heavy, burdened by a weight I could not shake off. The walls of my small apartment echoed with the silence of my solitude, a constant reminder of my loneliness and despair. Whoa, this is getting deep. One fateful day, as I mindlessly explored online, a movie called Kick-Assia caught my eye. Intrigued by the title, I decided to give it a chance. Little did I know that this simple decision would alter the course of my life in ways I never imagined. Oh, okay. Is this Doug? As I watched Kick-Assia, I was drawn...
I think it's Doug. It sounds like it's probably Doug. Or Linkara.
Into a world where ordinary people became heroes, where courage and determination triumphed over adversity. The characters faced impossible odds, yet they stood strong, united in their quest for justice and change.
What is happening?
The movie's message of resilience and hope struck a chord within me, stirring something long dormant in my heart. For the first time in a while, I felt a glimmer of optimism, a spark of possibility amidst the darkness that had consumed me for so long. Yeah, I don't want to make fun of someone who found hope in this, but I can't. This is kind of, well, it's a little dramatic, okay? Inspired.
It's obviously a joke, but like, damn, it took thought to come up with this. Like, real thought. More thought than it probably took to come up with Kickassia.
After Kickassia, I began to make small changes in my life. I reconnected with old friends, sought help for my struggles, well that's good, and reignited my passion for art, a long-forgotten love. The film had breathed new life into my weary soul, reigniting a flame of determination and purpose. If this is true, that you see, it shows any movie can move you. You know, movies move people, I guess. I just can't believe it's Kickassia. Day by day, I started to rebuild my life, volunteering at a local charity, reaching out to my community, and creating art that spoke of my journey and newfound hope. Kickassia had become more than just a movie to me. It had become a lifeline, a beacon guiding me out of the darkness. Years passed, and I looked back on my transformation with gratitude and pride. Kickassia had been my catalyst for change, my source of inspiration in the midst of despair. It had turned my sadness into strength, my despair into determination, and my brokenness into a story of resilience and renewal. Kickassia did?
100%.
As I sat in my now warm and inviting apartment,
I haven't even seen this movie and I'm feeling it.
Surrounded by friends and loved ones, I knew that Kickassia had not only entertained me, but had also saved me. It had shown me that even in the bleakest of moments, there is always a chance for redemption, growth, and a new beginning.
It's got 0 up dutes. It's got 0 down dutes. And it was not found helpful because I don't think anybody saw this comment. This is one of the greatest comments I have ever seen on anything. This man knew 100% what he was doing when he was writing it, and I commend him for it.
Bleakest of moments, there is always a chance for redemption, growth, and a new beginning. If that's true, I say good on you, mate. And if that's just Doug, I say shame on you. I think the dysfunction and sibling rivalry between Doug and Rob Walker is what left me with the biggest impression while researching Kickassia. It all comes down to their feature-length commentaries. Between the two of them, Rob Walker is the bigger blowhard. What I found striking was just how much shit he would talk about his brother Doug. At first I was like, okay, this guy is at least aware that he's not a good cinematographer. Self-awareness is a plus. He acknowledges the dust on the lens, the terrible exposure, all that stuff. But then he also likens himself to Sam Raimi in terms of being kinetic with the camera. Dude, please don't do that. Whatever. Disillusions aside, it's crazy just how much he calls Doug an amateur hack on his commentary. Which, okay, fine, I get it. But it's almost as if he thinks he, Rob Walker, deserves all the praise and could somehow make everything 100 times better if he were the actual director.
Yeah, then why is he not directing? Huh? Why is he not directing? Why has he not got a show that's as cool as Nostalgia Critic? Huh? Huh?
There's this thing called post-production.
It's jealousy.
And Doug, who is a hack sometimes, just does not understand this concept. Yeah, hack auteur. Like, and to this day, that is my biggest regret about this. I don't know what his deal is. I don't know why he can't see the obvious. Whatever. I suppose he's the auteur, and if you question his authority, you know, he goes into a conniption fit. I think he actually really does think he's M. Bison sometimes. Like, he tried banishing me. So then, basically, we didn't talk for a week, and then I suppose it's settled now just because we agree to disagree, which is basically a nice way of saying that, you know, I'm right and he's wrong. I had a shot that was even crazier, that was just like, just going everywhere and like zooming in embargo, but Doug just wanted to do it with the more low-key shot, so I think the crazier shot would have been better. Again, hack auteur. Yeah, I think these shots, some of these were Doug's. They look a little lopsided.
You know, I feel like it's necessary to talk about my views on Doug Walker before I did all this research versus my views on him after. I truly had no respect or interest in him as a creator before I looked into Kickassia and Channel Awesome. However, I couldn't help feeling like the guy deserves a little bit of respect. Don't get me wrong, he's also inept and complacent and had a large role in the downfall of Channel Awesome back in 2018. But it's also sort of impressive how long he's been putting...
There's a reason I use ad blockers. Not really, but I do use ad blockers. But that's not the reason.
Stuff out since his debut on YouTube back in 2007. I know the more cynical people out there in the comment section will argue that, well, of course it's easy to put that much stuff out when it's shit. But you see, those people are usually not content creators who make a living doing this, let alone putting this much stuff out for 18 years. While researching Doug, I stumbled across a very early stunt he pulled, which got him featured on a show called Extreme Quitters. Who hasn't had the fantasy of quitting their job in a grand and spectacular way? I was curious as to the backstory behind this video. Doug addresses why he quit his job as a maintenance man during a live stream he did a few years ago.
But the guy I worked under was constantly trying to get me fired. Again, he would come to me and smile, be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm just like, "I know what you're trying to do." So that was more for him, and he was in that cafeteria room.
Whatever the takeaway is here, I believe
Based.
that he has stayed true.
I didn't know that he did that, and that is awesome and based and cool. And I agree that that is how everyone should quit their jobs.
Himself in the 18 years he's been doing this.
It's a
Am
long
I
time.
Fan? Nah. And is it too
I'm a
early
fan.
to really have my full thoughts on his anniversary films? Yeah, I have at least 2 more that I'm dreading to watch. Suburban Nights and To Boldly Flee. I gotta say though, I am curious. How bad could it be? If you want more insights into Kickassia, check out my first time movie reaction on my other channel, Done Reacts.
I might have to do that. I haven't seen Kick-Ass. I didn't know Nostalgia Critic had these movies like that, like AVGN did. I don't like Doug Walker, actually, though. I am a fan of Nostalgia Critic, just not Doug Walker. Doug Walker's kind of a douche. And I like the characters that are in the Nostalgia Critic show. I like them. They're pretty cool. Like the chick and the black dude. I don't know anything about their personalities or what they're like in real life. But yeah, there's a little deep dive into Kickassia. I thought it was going to be more into Channel Awesome and less Kickassia, but I mean, it did get into it a little bit.